And all the neighbors would come.
Edward says, I need someone to walk through this. I have an idea.
Beat up guitar, and he never...
Stuffed animals.
He would laugh when I would do Shakespeare or something.
Kind of got to that place.
We finished the scene.
I was born in Mount Kisco Hospital, just north of New York City, October 28th, 1949. I grew up in a very middle-class American home. My biggest challenge as a young kid is I was a dyslexic kid and suffered from terrible low self-esteem at a very young age. That was really, really tough on me, and probably one of the great joys in life I have now is speaking to kids because who are dyslexic or have some type of learning disability, because I kind of lived through that. And to encourage them, because the biggest problem for me was not so much a reading problem. The biggest problem for me was self-esteem and how to build that self-esteem. And I was fortunate enough to find sports. Really kind of, for me, I was a dyslexic kid. I failed second grade, had to be held back. To me, the biggest fear in life was to go to school, because I was afraid the teacher was going to make me read in front of the class. And not only perceptually did I just have a hard time getting the words up, but also I got so emotionally upset and sweaty palms all day long, thinking I'm going to, somebody's going to ask me to read in front of the class. And that's kind of where I started, suffering from terrible low self-esteem. Everybody else was smarter than me. Everybody else was a better student. Everybody else, better reader, and not liking school at all. Didn't like it. And then in 5th grade, one day, everything changed. Guess where? Gym class. You're absolutely right. Good job. And yeah, and so they said we're going to do this running race today. So the coaches were going to, we put this line in the parking lot, and you're going to run around these chairs I set up, and you're going to come back, and I'm going to time every kid in school. And so, like every kid, I get in there. And I'm going to go as fast as I can. And I go out there and go running around and come flying back, and boom, had the fastest time in the whole school. Whoo. Everybody come up, give me a pat on the back. Bros, I didn't know you were that fast. I didn't either. But, and all of a sudden I thought, what's this thing called sports, I wasn't getting this in the classroom, but all of a sudden I found this little arena, what I call an arena to play in, called sports. I go out for football, take a guy, good student, good reader, clean as clock. This was wonderful stuff for a young, man. And that kind of got me started. And because of through sports and learning self-confidence and everything, it turned around and helped the problems, the self-confidence problems I was having in school. So sports kind of brought me out of my shell. Now, never knowing how far I would go with it, because I never thought, all that stuff. You're not going to go that far. But I just kept, it was important to me. And I enjoyed sports. So I played football, basketball, ran track, competitively water skied all summer long. I just played sports, And it wasn't until years down the line that I finally ran my first decathlon at the age of 20. And that, if there was ever an event that had my name on it, that was it. Because it had variety. I loved doing different sports. It was difficult to do. It had a rich history to the event. Going all the way back to Jim Thorpe. The title World's Greatest Athlete. If you think you're a pretty good athlete, this is the big test, of your ability to run, jump, and throw. And I was just intrigued by the event, so I thought I'd quit everything else and just let's see where this takes me. And little did I know, I just kept working on it, and at one point I wasn't trying to, make my high school team anymore. I was trying to be the best in the world at something. And making it on my first Olympic team in 1972, where I came out of nowhere, and actually experiencing the games, and I got 10th there, which I was very happy with. But watching for the first time an Olympic gold medal ceremony happening right in front of me. This is a gentleman named Nikolai Avilov of the Soviet Union, won the games in the decathlon. He broke the world record, 8,454 points, and pretty much made the decision watching that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my, for the next 4 years of my life. So I started training that night. That night, I couldn't sleep. I was so pumped up, I couldn't sleep. I was 22. After 2 years, I made it on my first Olympic team, which I was a nobody. Nobody knew who I was, but our Olympic trial system in the United States is very simple. You make a qualifying standard, you get an invitation to go to the games, and it's the trials, and it's one meet, and the top 3 from that competition move on to the games. The athletes really pick themselves, and I was in 10th or 11th place after the first day, 10th place, started the second day, and I moved from 11th. I stayed in 11th in the hurdles. I was in 10th place through the discus, And I had 3 events left, and I'm in 10th, and moved from 10th to 7th in the pole vault, 7th to 5th in the javelin. What I learned, I do a lot of speaking, and I call it finding the champion within. And I firmly believe everybody has that champion that lives down deep in their soul that can overcome obstacles and do tremendous things with their lives. That was the first time I really seriously tapped into that.